The secret to carrying heavy loads is to find the balance point. So that point feels almost weightless. This is very heavy. Everything about my life the last few years has been about family and home and coming to grips with the fact that I was raised by people who what they call love is actually dangerous, and it's actually really hurtful, and it's a self-perpetuating cycle, and it's so scary and it's so deep, and I don't know where it started. I'm just like praying that I can end it somehow, and it's just so dark. It's so dark. I don't think people understand. Been avoiding turning on my car for a long time now. Could even say like a month. And it's because I'm going to see my mom for maybe the last time. So recently I got this little psychic Subaru. I call it that because it has a third eye. It was when I first got in this car and I was sitting in the driver's seat. These seats have these like crappy covers on them, but I looked underneath and I saw that, and I thought, whoever sat in that seat, in that passenger seat, they were a ride or die. You know, like I look at that seat and I see where somebody sat for a really, really long time next to whoever drove this car, you know? And in the corner of the windshield here, there was an old spider web because it had been just sitting for so long. And for some reason, those two things together was like, whoever that ride or die, whoever that passenger seat sitter was, they're not with us anymore. You know, I kind of had that feeling. And I was wrong about that. I actually passed away 2 days after I had that thought. And that was her ride or die. And I don't know, I kind of felt that. There's a lot about this car that's kind of weird and synchronistic. The Subaru symbol is actually the Pleiades for one. And the fact that it has that third eye is a little bit more synchronous than just being the psychic Subaru or whatever. But anyway, I would really like to let Beatrice take another ride in this thing. Okay, so this is a sun cross. And this is one of the most ancient symbols on the planet. And what it is a complete map of reality. It's a map of the world, it's a map of time, it's a map of space. And what it's a map of is the cyclical nature of reality. And it's micro and macrocosmic, okay? So we're talking about the course of a day, the course of a year, course of a lifetime, even greater cycles, even more metaphysical cycles, and the energies therein that make up the complete interplay of shadow and light, which is what manifests the entire universe and the cycle of life in which we participate. So you could see we have just like moon phases, or the cycle of, you know, a day, a sunrise to a sunset to another sunrise. We have midnight, dawn, noon, and dusk or evening. And in the symbolic life cycle of the year, the evening time or dusk, when the sun sets, symbolically dies, we celebrate Halloween, or the harvest time. And this is hollow as in holy. It means it's All Souls Day, it's All Saints Day. And the night before is when you give reverence to all the souls that have passed, and, you know, the martyrs, all the holy ones that are on the other side. And there's, you know, a long, rich tradition of, you know, understanding that, particularly in agrarian societies, it's really important to have a marker for when the harvest, you know, should be done, when the rainy season's going to come, because you're going to be heading into winter, you know, symbolic night in the wheel of the year. And Halloween is the harvest festival. Think about the Grim Reaper, symbolic completion of life. And, you know, hopefully in some way you leave behind a seed when you cross that journey. So if we talk about life cycles of plants, or the growing cycle for agrarian societies, we have, for instance, you know, springtime. When you plant, you get the sprout, the leaf, the flower. So these delicate, you know, new, young things. Summertime, we have, you know, growth and nurturing, when things strengthen and, you know, grow up and, you know, maybe pollinate or start, you know, that process of flowering and fruiting. And the fruiting process takes us into harvest time, in which there is seed. So there's the seed for the next generation is generated not only by the process of growth, but by the process of wilting and end of life. You know, you can't have a forest you can't have new trees in a forest if all the light is soaked up by the big trees. They've got to fall eventually. So the cycle of life does include the time, you know, past fertility, and the time of the afterlife, you know, that ghost road that we all have to walk someday. It's a necessary part of this life cycle, the growth and decay cycle, and it's a very important part at that. And this would be, since the energy for the next generation is stored in the seed, this would be the symbolic root, or the planting, the underground, restful winter part of the cycle. And so right now, Halloween, we are here. Can I please go live in the woods for free? What the fuck are you talking about?